To express surprise that some honorable members do hold brief for the executive. What I'm witnessing here, I'm surprised that I'm witnessing some honorable members holding brief for the executive, and I believe they are not competent to be holding brief for the executive. During the debate on the address of the president, some honorable members we're making contributions. And as National Assembly members, there are responsibilities on us in terms of representation. They were expressing concerns, but some members were really, I would not say attack, but we are taking positions as if they are from the executive. And definitely this is an independent body. And our interests should be to see to it that the government delivers. It is in the interest of all of us. For government to deliver, the executive, for the executive to deliver, it serves the interest of those that we represent. And we can only ensure that the executive delivers if we take it to task. If we ensure that it is transparent, it is accountable, and then it delivers. So it serves everybody. So for us here, it is not in that frame of mind, them and us. As legislators, we are all together. In fact, that was the reason why we amended section 91.1b, which every honorable member supported. Because that gives us the liberty, the independence, to be expressing our minds in accordance with section 112 of the Constitution. That is in the best interest of the nation and also based on our conscience. So I would just urge my honorable colleagues that we are all in the same boat. Our interests, I can vouch for that. I don't see anybody who is here who wants to see this dispensation fail. We are representing people. If the resources are mismanaged, it is our people who suffer, those that we represent. If the government fails to deliver, it is the people that represent that suffers. So our interest is to see to it that it delivers. And we do this in concert, and we can only do that when we are critical. And this is what the members were simply doing. So I would really urge us that let us take that position. The honorable ministers are the most competent persons to come and hold brief for the executive. It is not us. Our role is to serve as legislators, to make laws, to ensure that there is oversight in the operations and processes of government, institutions of government, and officials of government, and also to represent the concerns of our representatives. So this is just what I wanted to say by way of passing, that it is not them and us. We are in this together. So let us not be holding brief for the executive. They are competent. That's why they are appointed to serve in those positions. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I want to also, I decided not to say much about Banjul because in my interventions I talked about Banjul, but the Honorable Member for Serekunda has compelled me. Well, for me, I believe fixing Banjul as it is better than waiting for the fortunes to relocate. I'm not sure, I don't know whether you know the implications of involved in relocating a capital city elsewhere. It costs a lot of money, and then we don't have that. So with the Banjul that we have, with its deplorable state, it is better to fix it. Because it was cited yesterday, even the main thoroughfare, Independence Drive, if you go, you see potholes. And there was a visitor, a foreign visitor who was in this country. I'm not sure whether they passed with him through Independence Drive, but I think let us all come together. So fix Banjul, even if it is temporal. I don't oppose relocating the capital. But as at now, this is the capital that we have, and it belongs to every one of us. Every Gambian can claim ownership of Banjul, so let's just fix it. Fix the roads, fix the drains, fix the sewerage. So that's what I wanted to say about Banjul, nothing more. Well, the Honorable Speaker, the President in his address talked about security, and the Honorable Minister for the Interior is here. And of course, I just don't want us to be seeing security from the law and order perspective. Security goes beyond that. The President cited statistics. 36.7% of the population are below the age of 30 in this country. They are young people. And that we are talking, the President also gave us this figure, that 38% There's 38% unemployment among the youth population. So this is alarming. So having these young people not employed, the temptations for them to do things that even, conflict with the law are always there. So for government to also address these concerns side by side would be addressing security. But what I want to say is, I want to hear from the Minister of the Interior about the situation of the outcome of the security sector reform. This National Assembly or I myself, I'm not privileged to any report. I'm not aware of any report rather. So we want to know the outcome. But what I want to emphasize is that we need to really factor the welfare of the men and women in uniform. They are among those that receive starvation wages, and we entrust them with the security of this nation, law and order. I think it is important for this government, the executive in particular, to consider helping those in uniform to be learning other skills rather than just drills, parade, salutes, and the like. To learn skills. They can even be complementing health. They can be men in uniform, they can be police officers, soldiers, but learning other areas is like health. They can come and complement the workforce, education workforce. I think it's high time to help them to acquire skills in other areas rather than just, like I said, that role. Because after all, if you see most of them when they retire, where do they end up? Security officials, security for these law firms. And in fact, I'll be pursuing that. They are really shortchanged serving in the security firms. The salaries are so bad, there is no future. So something needs to be done about that. So how do we help them so that when they retire or when they finish their service, their contract with the police or the army, they will get into other areas that will be more useful, even engineering, agriculture. So I think it's important. I'm not sure what is contained in the security reform report, but the welfare of the men and women of uniform is key. It should be really factored in so that they can continue being productive. Their present role is productive. They are providing services to the nation, law and order. It's a service that they are providing to the nation. I'm not bemeaning it the least. But what I'm saying is, after retirement, they cannot continue doing that. They need to be doing something else. Even whilst they are in active service, they can be complementing, like I said, the health workforce, the education workforce, areas where you don't have teachers, and they can be trained to be teachers. Even teaching languages, like our national languages, they can be trained in that. Engineering, agriculture. So this is what I would really want to recommend for the authorities to consider. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I want to talk about fisheries. It was said that Gambia is benefiting from fisheries through licenses. I think we need to go beyond that. There are some interventions like this youth empowerment project. They are here. Why don't we look into exploring that area, fisheries? It has a lot of potentials for this country. It can engage young people in trawlers. It can engage them in processing, value addition. So there is real need. The Minister of Fisheries is not around, but I think we are not tapping the potentials of our marine resources. What is in our oceans? What is in the river Gambia? There are lots of potentials which we need to tap. And then these interventions, government can even come up with schemes. But there is real need to support young people in that area. Because most of them that are working in the fisheries industry, they are working as deckhands, inspectors, and on foreign vessels foreign fishing boats. There is no Gambian fishing boat as far as I know. So that's an area I would also want government to really look into. Transportation. We talked about this vehicle policy. We have seen that it is really achieving the opposite. But I believe that government should really look into transportation. From now on, if you go to Westfield, from Westfield to Tabokoto, you see people staying there looking for transport, waiting for transport. And this goes up to 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 in the evening, 9 o'clock in the evening, standing there looking for transport. There's need for public transportation. So government can also, in this, when they are reviewing, the minister told us that they are reviewing the policy, they are revisiting it. And then I would urge that they do the proper consultation, let them involve everybody who is affected. But there's also a need for institutions to be provided with coaches, to be transporting workers after they finish work. And those that are going to be relieved if this transport policy is going to be really implemented, what about them? How are we going to take care of them in terms of employment? Of course, the former Minister of Finance told us that there was a package for them. I'm not sure whether that package was really, they really benefited from that package, but as we are told that it has not been implemented as designed. But these are things that the government needs to, particularly the executive, needs to take note of, that transportation is a real problem in this country. And those that are working, you can help us, help government from paying transport allowances, or can reduce it. You can pay them half, and then the other half you can use it to support the transport that is in the institution, to be transporting them to and fro from work, to home, to work and back home. I think this is all that I have. I just want to urge all my colleagues that when we came together to bring about change, we did it to save this nation, to put this nation on a pedestal that would be a win-win for all, to bring about a dispensation in which every Gambian would see himself or herself in it. That is the spirit. And then we have started demonstrating it in our committees. That's really admirable. That's really laudable. At the level of our committees, we really work. It is in this interest of the Gambia that we see, and that is why the committees are delivering. So that is what should also be demonstrated outside, in and outside of these chambers. That it's the Gambia, the interest of the people that should be served at all times, and then we are ready to defend it, we are ready to promote it at whatever cost. So on that note, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Sabah Sanjal.
Oh, thank you.